Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cooking Con Amanda. It is a chilly Saturday morning here in South Carolina, about the middle of October, so we're getting to that time of year where the temps have really cooled down a lot. So I'm going to be making a recipe today in my air fryer, and I'm going to be making this is the first time I've tried it, is our rotisserie chicken. There is a recipe in the cookbook that comes along with the air fryer that is for the Peruvian grilled chicken, which I've heard is to die for. But it does call for a green sauce to go with it that I know I would love. But my husband really, he's one of those ones who distinctly dislikes the flavor of cilantro. So I think that green sauce is really would be key to that recipe. So I'm gonna kind of go out on the fly here and make my own spice rub and kind of do something a little bit different. So we're just gonna start off here, walk through kind of what we're working with. This is gonna be the first time that I'm trying to actually use my rotisserie and get that going. So I'll be doing that live with y'all, so we'll see how that works. But we're gonna, I'll run through everything and then we'll get going. So, of course, we got our chicken here. I let this defrost in the fridge, and then I opened it up in the sink to allow the juice to kind of drain out of the package that it comes in. I didn't rinse the chicken at all. I did just kind of let him, drip off a little bit, and then I patted both sides of him dry. And then placed it in this bowl. So just to let you know what I did do to the chicken before. I also did remove, this one came with 2 bags of the stuff inside. So I've got that going in a pot behind me for the dog. Give her a little treat for dinner tonight. But anyway, so that's what we've got here. Just the one chicken so far. All that we've done, just defrost it and then patted it dry on both sides. So just set that here while I go through everything else. And then for the spice rub that we're going to use, and let me show you the Peruvian chicken recipe, which I'm going to follow the instructions as far as how to do the spit and all, or the, rotisserie and everything, and how to actually tie the chicken using this recipe and kind of follow the same type of preparation of the chicken, but just different ingredients. But that is available in the cooking guide that comes with your air fryer. It also does come with your actual, instruction manual guide, which will go through and then give you some more detailed instructions as far as actually how your spit fits inside the air cooker. So it really does give you a lot of information. And I have read through this, so I've read through it. I've just never done it. So we'll keep these over here. We'll put them back here with my taste buds that I just got in the mail, which I'm excited. I haven't tried those yet. But so we'll put that back there in case I need it. But I should be okay just following this recipe that comes in the quick cooker recipe guide or the cooking guide. So like I said, what we've got is that patted dry. So I'm just going to sit him here. And then obviously we're going to use our air fryer. I'll move him up here once everything else is prepped. I got him to sit him on a stool right now, just for lack of space, the way we've got us situated here today. But of course the air fryer, and I've taken out the adjustable shelves that come inside because we won't need those. Obviously we're going to be using the spit that does come with your air fryer, along with these 2 hooks, which are going to grip into your chicken and allow it to, remain on the actual spit. So we'll get into that in just a bit. Additionally, this is not a Pampered Chef item, but we will need some, very highly recommended to get some kitchen twine. I got this right at the local grocery store, and I live far out in the country, so I'm sure you can find this. If not, Amazon would have it for pretty cheap. And this is actually a whole lot, so this will last you a lot. And I actually got mine buy one get one free, so I have 2 now. But anyway, so we will need some kitchen twine, unless you want your chicken legs flapping against the side of the cooker the whole time. So we'll need that. Additionally, I've got my Pampered Chef kitchen shears, which I'll use to cut my twine. I also use these to open up the packaging that the chicken was in, but these are really, really nice. They come with this protective guard on them. They also, are locked into place. So, initially there's no sharp edges that are, showing even once the guard is taken off. What you have to do is actually depress this together in order to be able to release the lock at the bottom. So I'll just bring it a little closer just so you can see. So they're just locked when you take the guard off. But then in order to actually even unlock this lock, like you can't unlock it right now, you have to depress these together in order to be able to make it work. So they're pretty safe, but then they're very sharp. So they'll be great for our twine. So anyway, so I just, these are the first time I'm able to use these as well, so I'm excited. Additionally, we're going to use our citrus juicer, replacing the lemon in the recipe with a lime, because we're going in kind of a more Greek direction, I guess. We are going to use our garlic press. I've reduced down the amount that we're going to use, but we still are going to press some unpeeled garlic, which I have 2 cloves here. So 1 lemon, 2 cloves of garlic, some salt and pepper. I use kosher salt, so we'll be using that, and then fresh cracked pepper, which Pampered Chef does have available. Additionally, I'll be using about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then as far as the actual rub goes that we're going to put on the outside of the chicken, I'm going to use a combination of 2 of our Pampered Chef spice blends. So I'm going to use the Greek rub. So that's why I'm using the lemon, because that kind of goes a little more with Greek rather than the lime, which kind of goes with the Peruvian more. So we're going to go with the lemon and the Greek rub, which I've not tried yet. This was one of the first that I got. So I'm really, let's start one teeth. There we go. I'm really excited. Let me wash my hands. Really excited to use that one because I've been waiting. I got that at my initial party, and so that's been a while ago. I've been waiting for my air fryer and then the right time to do chicken. So we're gonna try that. And then my old go-to, which is crazy to say, I've only been doing this just under 3 months, but my garlic and herb. So that's why I'm reducing down the amount of fresh garlic I'm using, just because this does have some garlic in it. But I thought these 2 would go well together. This one is really, the garlic and herb is really, I don't want to say generic, but it does. It just works well on just about anything. So steaks, veggies, chicken, fish. It's a good all-around, and as you can see, I'm just about out, so I'm going to have to put my order in for that. So we're going to mix those guys together, and then what I'm going to do additionally, which this isn't in the recipe for the Peruvian chicken, but Pinterest, like my go-to now, I did see someone where they recommended using canned potatoes, which are, obviously already parboiled, and putting those on the tray below the chicken to allow them to kind of soak up the juices while the chicken is rotisserie. So I'm going to try that. But instead, I chopped and parboiled my own red potatoes. I left the skins on because the red potatoes, the skins are so thin. I think they'll be okay. They'll hopefully get nice and crisp for us. But I have my small batter bowl here, and you see I was just keeping them warm with our lid, but won't need that any longer. But I've got about 2 cups of those sliced. I tried to keep them around the same size. That way they cook at the same time. That's going to be our goal. But what we're going to do with those is I'm going to cover them with a little salt, pepper. Well, actually, I might leave that out because I'm going to use the new one of the newer spices by Pampered Chef, which is our actual seasoning salt. So this is the, all over, general seasoning salt that you can use on basically anything. But the first ingredient is this salt. So I probably will leave out the actual salt. But we'll use the seasoning salt and some olive oil for those, and I'm going to put them on the pan, and so then they'll catch the drippings from the chicken. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get everything going here so we can get this together. So what I'm going to do first is get my potatoes ready. I'm just going to sprinkle them. I don't want to kind of, make them too wet, just because they're on that drip pan down there and they will be catching the drippings from the chicken as well. And then sprinkle them with some seasoned salt. And then, excuse me, I did fail to get out a spoon. So let me grab one of my spoons. And I actually, this works out great, I just got my teak wooden spoons in the mail. It comes in a set of 3, or there are 3 that you can get in the set. So I did get all 3. These are beautiful teak wood, but they're turned in the center, so they have that detail. But they're just, really smooth. I wouldn't dishwash these. You could condition them with a little bit of wood conditioner. I know they have it at the big box home improvement stores for that big, the wooden cutting board I have back there. I condition that. I don't use soap and water on it. I use salt to kind of clean it, and then condition it with a wood conditioner, which is probably the same way I would treat these. That way they keep that nice, smooth. If you were to put these in the dishwasher, they would get kind of dried out. So you'd kind of want to avoid that. But these are great. So I just got these in. So I'm just going to use that to toss my potatoes. A little bit of overkill for such small potatoes, but oops, you got a jumper. But I was excited to use that. So, okay, that took 3 seconds. So those are done. I'm going to set those aside back there, just so that they can just be marinating while we're getting everything together for our chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to truss the chicken up before doing all of the spice blend. So I'm going to do this together. So it says to tie the legs together with about a 12-inch piece. So one good thing, which I will show you before we start, that I am using here, I have my flexible mat, one of my flexible cutting mats down. And this is actually the one that shows you what each different knife is used for. So your paring, chef, utility bread, tomato, and Santuco, which are the standard knives in our coated knife set. It just lets you know why we have so many different knives. Each one is for a specific purpose. So it just kind of explains to you there which one you would use. But what I like about it is that, as you can see here along the top, there is a measure. So we need about 12 inches. So what that allows us to do, since I'm not the best in eyeing measures, I can, now measure that on my board. But what I have down below here is just a kitchen towel that is damp. That will allow that tea towel not to move around too badly while, I am working on the board, just to help that from sliding. So I've cut off about a 12-inch piece of our twine here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to tie the legs together. Now I have done this before. I use a different item for roasting in the oven. They're made out of silicone, so I've not yet tried them before in the air fryer. And so I'm going to do the twine this time because I'm just not sure what temp those are good up to. But once I find out, those might be a good option because those make it really easy to tie this off. So, okay, try that again. I'm trying to kind of get these in the middle. So really what you just want to do is to keep them from flapping. So I try to kind of braid it in and tie him and then tie him to him. So there we go. I think we got it that time. So what we're going to do now is just tie this off tight in a knot because the last thing I want is for those little leggies to be flapping around. And I'm also going to go ahead and cut off that extra twine that we had there and toss that. So now it also instructs to tie the chicken wings against the breasts with a 24-inch piece of twine. So I guess they would be, and that little guy's missing half of a wing, would mean they want us to tie them. I normally press my arms back when I'm cooking, but we'll go ahead and tie the twine. So I'm not going to touch the actual twine. We don't want to cross-contaminate. That seems about double of what we had. So what we're going to do, we'll just follow the instructions here. We're going to tie around our breasts. Make sure we catch our chicken wingies there. We're kind of at a disadvantage a little bit on that guy since he lost his little baby chicken wing. That's okay. So just pull tight. You know, like I said, you want to make sure you don't have, parts of your chicken flapping around, hitting everything. So this actually wasn't very hard. I don't know why I was so concerned. But, so if you excuse me real quick, I'm just going to run over. I'm going to place our chicken on the board now. And there's a mat down there. But we are done with our shears. And I'm going to run and place this in the sink and wash my hands just because they're covered in chicken before I touch our ingredients. So, excuse me, I apologize. The last thing we want to do is we haven't touched that raw chicken and then touch all of our spices and put our hands in our salt and cause all types of cross-contamination. So I'm making sure to really, soap up my hands all the way up where I need that raw chicken and use some nice hot water. So just basic good kitchen hygiene to, prevent cross-contamination. And this has some aloe vera in the soap. It's probably good this time of year to keep me from getting too dry here with all the cold. So now we got our chicken ready, at least for right now. So what we're going to do is kind of prepare the little spice blend that we're going to put on top. So I'm going to add in our salt. Excuse me, I'll use my measure here. We're going to do a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And actually, I'm going to do a full teaspoon of kosher salt. Okay, set him back here. I'm going to also do probably about a teaspoon of the pepper, and I'm going to put him on that wet mat too. That'll help keep that from moving around as well. This is not a Pampered Chef grater, but like I said, we do have a salt and pepper grater set, which are really nice. They're actually really pretty to keep out on your table just for everyday use. I generally use fresh cracked pepper, at least when I'm at home, or now it's available at a lot of restaurants. So we're just going to keep going, but this one is not, but it is one that I've had for a while and I really do enjoy. So just use what we have here. Alrighty, we're going to set him back there. So now we got our salt and pepper, and now what I'm going to add are my spice blends. So I'm going to use about a teaspoon of each. So here we've got a teaspoon of our garlic herb. Okay, and then we'll set him back here with the pumpkins. Now we've got our Greek. Smells good. That smells kind of lemony from, let's see what's in there. Salt, red bell pepper, okay, a little bit of citric acid, so it does have that lemony. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of that. That smells really yummy. Okay. So that would be good left over, like on a, now I'm just cutting off the ends of this lemon here. I'm getting ready to juice it. The way I do my lemon, I don't know if it matters or not, but I cut the ends off before I cut it in half. And so that way I'm left with like 2 cut ends of the lemon. And then I'll just put the larger end down, but 2 cut edges. But anyway, just juice those. Forget what I was saying. But yeah, that chicken would be good left over for like a Greek chicken salad with some feta cheese, some Kalamata olives. That'd be really yummy. So there we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of our olive oil. That's probably about a tablespoon, because that lemon really juiced a lot of juice. And a tip that I have, and while I'm talking, I'm going to put my unpeeled garlic in my garlic press and press 2 cloves of garlic. A tip for my citrus is I try to keep it stored out on the counter. If for some reason I don't think I'm going to use it in time to where it'll stay good on the counter, I will put it in the fridge. But, and you can see there that just left the peel of the garlic. And since I'm doing 2, fish them out. If I do keep it in the fridge, I will take it out before using it to either allow it to come to room temperature, or if I forget to do that and run out of time, then I will go ahead and pop them in the microwave for about 15-20 seconds to let that, goodness gracious, citrus juice come back up to like a warmer temperature, because that just kind of helps to draw out more of that juice. So that's just a tip. I'm going to put my twine away here. And what I'm using here is just one of our 2-cup prep bowls and our little mini stainless steel whisk, which I love. It works perfect in the ceramic egg cooker, but it's also perfect for something like this to whisk together quick. I mean, I brought that olive oil and the lemon juice together really quickly. Made nice quick work of that. So pop him in there. So we're going to kind of rearrange here a little bit. So I can bring my air cooker up here. So I'm going to pull my little chicken over here. Just make sure those twine don't fall on the floor. Get rid of this knife in the sink. So what I'm going to do, pardon the mouse there, just part of reality. So I'm going to bring up the air cooker here. So I'm probably going to have to come around here. I'm trying not to get, excuse me, caught up on bar stools and all kinds of hubbub we got going on over here. Let's bring our chicken over here. Come on. Okay. And so what we're going to do, got our air fryer going here. You can tell he's going, got him plugged in because the blue lights are on. So once we have everything together on the chicken, we're going to go ahead and put him on the spit. So what we're going to do is start, and I'm going to have to wash my hands again, I can already see. Should have done this before. Should have read the full instructions. Put the spit through at the end of the chicken where the legs are tied together. You know, obviously there's a hole at both ends of the chicken. So we're going to start there, like with their little tail pieces, put him through, and it comes right out at the top of the chicken. And so then what we're going to do, and make sure it's kind of centered on the bird, which this is, and then we're going to, here's our little, these are called forks. So we're going to take our forks, and you can see on the end they have 2 little squares which are going to align to the spit. So what we're going to do is take these forks, line them up with the spit so that it goes through. Okay, turn them around. And I'm doing this on live TV. Okay, there we go. And then underneath here, there's a screw. And you want to tighten that and push that fork. I'm going to untighten the screw first. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we've got the spit or the fork into the chicken. So now we're going to tighten down that screw. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I should have, there we go. Tried this out earlier You know, I figured I would do a real life demonstration because we'll all be going through this together. Put him on upside down. That's not going to be helpful. It's a little easier if you put it on with the screw, at least what I'm finding, near the bottom. Okay. One through. It's just difficult to get them lined up. We're gonna get this chicken. There we go. Hey, that's a tip. So if you're having trouble getting your spit lined up on your chicken, set them up. And it'll help us get this aligned to where we can then, there we go, push those forks into the chicken. I knew we'd get it. Just took a little bit of time. This video is going to be like 85 minutes long. Oh, and I turned the wrong way. Righty-tighty, lifty-loosey. That's what my dad always taught me. How to remember when you're putting on a screw or turning on or off a hose. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So righty-tighty. All right. There we go. All right. So now we got our chicken on our spit. That bad boy is on there. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and, I got in. Let me wash my hands off one more time. Sorry about that, you guys. I know, Josie. Just hang on. I don't know if any of y'all have seen any of my prior videos in reference to not having the Pampered Chef basting brush, but I got a basting brush. And so now I do have the Pampered Chef basting brush, which I love. And one of the reasons why I wanted it was for that one little reason. It has a hook on it, so you can hook it onto the side of your chicken. And I hear my husband just opened the garage door coming home from sighting in his hunting rifle, so I'm sure he'll be coming in any time. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and give this guy a good slathering of this. And he is still on that board, which is on my chicken. Now, the instructions say to have coated him in this mixture prior to placing him on the spit. You could definitely do that, but I think that it would be a little bit more messy or more difficult, you know, just making the chicken a little less manageable as far as handling wise. But, you know, I mean, really, I don't see the harm in doing it either way. Whatever works best for you, more power to you. So we're going to get him nice and coated here. Make sure we get all those seasonings and things out of there. It's kind of difficult when you're, you know, turning them around to keep everything on there, but that looks pretty good. One thing I wish I would have done was put some salt and pepper on the inside of him prior to trussing him up. That's one thing I normally do when I am roasting in the oven. But what I am going to try to do, since this cavity is still here, is pour in the rest of that seasoning mix into him. So, okay. Now let me go wash my hands one more time before I touch the outside of this air fryer and get rid of this contamination. It's like Contamination Nation. Okay. Rid of him. That basting brush did a great job. I love it. I like that little handle on there that fits perfectly like on your batter bowl. So if you had like melted butter and you were trying to like baste, or like egg wash to baste on the top of a pie, so would be perfect for that. So what I'm going to do is get my mouse out of the way. Move my chicken out so we can open up the door. Yeah, I know the door's open. So what you can see on the inside of the air fryer, right here on the side and here on the side are where your spit is going to fit in. So what it says is you are going to insert the forks into the chicken and tighten the screws. Okay, so we got that done. So now what we're going to do is put the chicken in the rotisserie. So we want to line these guys up there. And actually looking at how that works, I don't think that our potatoes are going to fit in there. So I think we might have to leave those out of this one. Like I said, this was the first time I had tried this. So I'm just rinsing off my hands again since I touched that chicken again. I'm going to get rid of this chicken mess. There we go. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do now is start the rotisserie process, and then we'll end this video finally. I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk. So what we're going to do, here's our wheel, and we're going to turn this wheel over here. There is a setting for rotisserie. So I'm going to turn my wheel to our rotisserie setting. When we do that, what we're going to want to do is make sure our time is to 45 minutes, which it is. And then we're going to press the wheel to start. Okay. And it's turning. Turn on our light there. It's kind of hard for you to see, but the chicken is rotisserieing inside of the air cooker or the air fryer. So what we're going to do is let that go. That'll go for about the 45 minutes. And then what we're going to want to do is use a thermometer to ensure that the internal temperature of that chicken is around 165 degrees, or is 165 degrees. That's the, done temperature for a rotisserie chicken. So we will let that go, and once that's done, we will come back and see how it turned out. Thank you.